Doug Bauer is the CEO of Tri-Pointe Homes. They're a premium builder active in 10 states. Doug, it's good to have you here. Welcome.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for having me on.
What would you say are the top 3 items on your concern list right now?
Well, I think as you go into the new year, we actually saw the back half of this year, as we reported in the third quarter, a lot of volatility in interest rates, as were mentioned, and the election. And that caused a lot of hesitation. Our feeling is that hesitation is actually going to turn into a pretty robust spring selling season. So as we go into the new year, we're fairly optimistic about where the consumer is. There's plenty of demand out there. And then there's a lot of things that we could talk about with the incoming administration as well.
Let's do it. Do you expect that it's going to have an impact on on what's going on with construction workers and so forth, or is it tariffs? Where does your head go? What do you think about?
Well, I think there's a number of things and a lot of unknowns, right? Number one, the corporate tax rate is going to remain flat or go down, so that's a positive. On the regulatory standpoint, I think there's going to be reform at the HUD and Department of Energy level, as well as possibly on the environmental side of the equation. And then the last thing is the financial markets and the banks are going to deal with a lot less regulation. And so the economic windfall from that, as you see the banks are more encouraged to put dollars into all businesses, and especially even the land and land development business to the small and medium-sized builders. The public builders, we don't have an issue with financing, but I think opening the financial spigot will help the industry as a whole, and you'll probably see more M&A as you go forward into 25 and beyond.
So you're actually seeing this, and it reminds me of what our retail guest said yesterday, that retail earnings accelerated under Trump's first administration. You'd expect they get hit by tariffs, but because they had tax cuts, which were put in place before those tariffs went on, which were a hit, on the margin, but not in a major way. Do you think the same could happen with your industry now?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I think there's going to be a positive business and economic input effect, I should say, from this incoming administration at a number of levels. And some of the major banks have talked about that as well.
That all being the case, how much of an issue might it be if there's any loss of workers from your industry? Or do you think that's really not a big risk?
Well, this whole discussion on deportation, it's pretty early in the discussion. I frankly think we really don't know the overall effect, and is it going to be focused more on criminals and so forth? I mean, whatever is done, I think it'll be done lawfully and so forth. As a larger builder, we've had no issues with the labor side of the equation this year, and frankly, as you look back on the Trump years, we had no issue with labor. So I think on the margin, it's not going to be a big deal.
This was a fun idea that came out of a discussion yesterday, sort of a thought experiment of what would ever happen if we did, stimulus checks, cash basically, for people to put their homes on the market, to literally unlock inventory that way. The problem is, of course, the payment would have to be so large in order to get people to do so, because what are you going to move into with rents where they are and home prices across the country the way that they are? A lot of people just feel like they have nowhere to go.
Well, you're talking about really, I think, as I listened to some of it yesterday, affordability is a big phrase. And we don't have a demand issue in the U.S. We have a supply issue. And you mentioned just a second ago, if there's 2 ways to affect supply. If interest rates came down, the resale market would unlock. So far, we've seen the builders take a 30% market share of all sales in the U.S. compared to a 13 or 14% normal level.
Wow.
So as interest rates, or if interest rates came down, that would be a good thing to create more supply, create more competitive pricing pressure in the resale market. At the new home building level, it's not going to be done at the federal level, with all due respect. I mean, this is a state and local issue. There's a lot of regulations that I've talked about for years that's really pulling back the supply of land that can be entitled that we could build more affordable housing.